classes. I am Jakpreet Kaur, your science teacher of DPSL Lamaja. Dear students, in this video we will continue the revision of chapter number 15 of grade 6 science, that is air around us. So let's begin. Dear students, let's do the quick revision that what we have studied in our previous video. So what topics we have covered? First is air. Okay, what is air? Air is a mixture of gases. Okay, and when air is in motion, okay, जब air जो हमारी बहुत तेज चलती है, that we call it a wind. Then what are the properties of air? So there are different properties of air. Air is colorless, air is transparent, air occupies the space, and air also exerts the force. Okay, so these are the properties of air. Now what are the composition of air? So I have also told you that there are the different composition of air, and air is a mixture of different gases. So the first is the nitrogen, and the percentage of the nitrogen in air is 78%. Okay, next gas is the oxygen, and the percent of oxygen is 20.9%. Next, third gas is the carbon dioxide. Okay, and the percentage of the carbon dioxide is very less, that is 0.03%. Okay, another gas is the argon gas, and its percentage in the air is 0.90%, and there are some other gases are also there, and their percentage is 0.17%. Okay, so you have to learn this propositions and the composition of the air. Now what is atmosphere? Okay, atmosphere is basically a layer of the different gases which is commonly known as an air. Okay, now what are the uses of air? So I have told you that there are the different uses of the air. Okay, air are also used in the form of the compressed air. Okay, in the compressed form it is used in the vehicle tires. Okay, and by the divers. Okay, underwater divers, and air is also used for the plants by the animals. Okay, and there are different uses. Means the nitrogen which is present in the air is used to manufacture the fertilizers. Okay, so there are the many uses. Now let's see how air supports life. So student, how the air supports life? We all need air to survive. Okay, the air which contain carbon dioxide and oxygen are used by the plants and animals. So it is a very important part for our life. Now let's see how air supports in plants. So plants of tiny pores, or plants have some tiny pores, okay, into it. So the tiny pores called the stomata, and that tiny pores is known as the stomata, so which are found on the underside of a leaf. Okay, so this stomata is found on the underside of the leaf. Okay, so let's see. Here is a structure of a leaf. Okay, now here at the underside of it, okay, and here some small pores are present. Okay, like this. So these pores are known as stomata. Okay, and we made the structure of the stomata is like this. Okay, so stomata basically looks like this. So as you can see in the image here also, okay, the structure of the stomata, and the stomata opens and closes. So when the stomata opens, so the carbon dioxide which is present in the air and the oxygen, it gets into it. Okay, it comes into the plant. Okay, and this carbon dioxide is used in the process of photosynthesis, and the oxygen is used for the respiration by the plant. So both the carbon dioxide and oxygen is very much important for the plants. So the plants which are in the aquatic, in the oceans, okay, under the water, the openings of the stomata helps the plants to intake the oxygen which is present in the dissolved form into the water. Okay, how the oxygen is present in the dissolved form into the water? So, because basically the chemical formula of the water is H2. Okay, and this formula means the water. This stands for the water. So oxygen here, which is present in the water in the dissolved form. Oxygen is present in the water, the form of the dissolved. Okay, so this oxygen which is present in the water is utilized by the plants which are under the water, okay, and that plants are known as the aquatic plants. Okay, so this oxygen is utilized by them. So this is how the air supports life in the plants. Now let's see how air supports life in the animals. So student, all the animal needs to respire for the surviving. Okay, to survive they need oxygen and they respire. So whether that is a small microorganism or insect to a big elephant, we all need the oxygen to respire. So air is very important for the animals. Now here what happens, we generally use the term wrongly, breathing and respiration. Where we have to use the term breathing, we use the term respiration, and where we have to use the term respiration, there we use breathing. So interchangeably we use the term. So it is very important to understand the exact meaning of the breathing and respiration. So let's understand what is breathing. Breathing is a physical act. Okay, it is a physical act of taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. So it is a physical act of taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. Okay. Now what is respiration? Respiration, it is a chemical process. Okay, respiration is a chemical process by which glucose in the body breaks down to give energy. So when we do respiration, okay, when the respiration is taking place in our body, it is a chemical process. So what happens when we do respire? So the glucose which is present in our body is break down to give energy, and when we get energy, then only we are able to do the different works. Okay, then only we perform the different functions. Okay, so these are the different terms. Breathing is a physical act of taking in oxygen and giving out the carbon dioxide. Respiration is a chemical process by which glucose in the body breaks down to give energy. Now how we are getting this glucose? So what the food we are eating, from that we are getting the glucose, and that glucose is break down to give energy. Okay, and this process is known as a respiration. So I hope you understood now what is the difference between the breathing and the respiration. So I hope now you will correctly use these terms. Now in the cockroach, if we talk about the insects, so in the cockroach, how do they respire? Okay, how cockroach do respiration? So on the body of the cockroach, some holes are present. Okay, small pores are present, and that pores are known as spiracles. Okay, that pores are known as spiracles. Spelling of the spiracle is S-P-I-R-A-C-L-E, spiracle. Okay, the pores which are present on the body of the cockroach or the housefly. Okay, these are the insect. So that pores is known as spiracles. Okay, so and now if we talk about the earthworm, so on the earthworm, their skins are their skin is covered with the mucus. Okay, that is the fluid, एक चिकना चिकना सा you can see कि उसके ऊपर एक fluid जैसा लगा होता है, ठीक है. And from that fluid what happen, it helps the earthworm to respiration. Okay, so spiracles are the pores which are present on the body of the insects like a cockroach and the housefly. Okay, so from with the help of these spiracles, the cockroach and the housefly do respiration. Okay, and earthworm do how they respire? They respire from their skin. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Now let's see how the aquatic animal and the plants do respiration. So now how air supports life in aquatic. Okay, so the animals, let's see for the animals here, the aquatic animals. Okay, so the aquatic animals like the crabs, the fish, okay, so they respire from their gills. How they respire? They respire from their gills, and gills helps these aquatic animals to intake the oxygen and give out the carbon dioxide. Okay, and from where they are taking the oxygen? They are taking the oxygen from the water which is in the dissolved form. Now there is an exception case in some of the fishes like the whale. Okay, whale and the dolphin, they are having the blowholes because they do not have the gills, they are having the lungs. Okay, the whale and dolphin are having the lungs. So on the head of the whale and the dolphin there is a blowhole, okay, which is known as a nostril, and whenever they want to intake the oxygen, so the whale and the dolphin, they come to the surface of the water, and from the air they intake the oxygen and then they go deep into the water. So whenever the oxygen is required by the whale and the dolphin, they every time come to the surface of the water and they intake the oxygen from the air. Okay, so please remember this. Now when we talk about the plant, okay, the aquatic plant, so hydrilla is an example of the aquatic plant. Okay, is it hydrilla? So the oxygen which is present in the water in the dissolved form is used by the hydrilla from their stomata. Okay, जो ऑक्सीजन है आपके वाटर में जो प्रेजेंट होते हैं डिजॉल्व फॉर्म में, वो स्टोमेटा की हेल्प से प्लांट जो है वो क्या करते हैं, उसको इनटेक करते हैं. ओके, फॉर द प्रॉपर फंक्शन एंड फॉर देयर सर्वाइवल. Okay, now this is how the air supports the life in the aquatic of the animals and the plants. Now let's see how the air is used up by the amphibians. So now in amphibians like frog, salamander, okay, the spelling is S-A-L-A-M-A-N-D-E-R, salamander, can breathe in both air and water. So these two can breathe on both on the land and the water. So how? The frogs are having the well developed lungs to breathe on land, and when it goes under the water, so the frog breathe from their moist skin. Okay, so now the crocodile and the alligator. Okay, these are the amphibians. When we talk about the crocodile and the alligator, they swim through water with part of their snout. Okay, snout is a part of their body, and it is, the spelling is S-N-O-U-T, snout, above the water surface. So जो snout है ये अपने water surface के ऊपर रखते हैं to breathe easily through their nostrils. Okay, the alligators and the crocodiles are having the nostril. So the snout, which is a part of their body, they keep this part on the surface of the water, okay, to breathe easily through their nostrils. So this is how the amphibians do respiration. Okay, and this is how they breathe. So now let's see how the birds do respiration. So students, now how air supports in the life in birds. Okay, so birds have an efficient respiratory system as they need high level of oxygen. Okay, so their respiratory system is more efficient because they need a high level of oxygen during the flight. Okay, so when the bird flies, they need a high level of oxygen. So what happens? The birds have a pair of lungs with air sac. Okay, they are having the pair of lungs with the air sac. Means the air sac is present in their lungs that remains open all the time. Okay, and this air sac remains always open all the time so that during the flight the birds get the proper amount of the oxygen. Okay, the image of an air sac you can see in a diagram here. Okay, you can see how the air sac is present. Now this is it. So students, as the oxygen is utilized by the plants for the respiration, for the animals, from the aquatic animals, from the amphibians, from the by the birds. So how this maintenance of the carbon dioxide, because the carbon dioxide is also utilized by the plant for their photosynthesis. Okay, so how this maintenance is there, how the oxygen and the carbon dioxide is maintained in here. So this is maintained by the plant and the animals. So during the plant has they produce oxygen. Okay, during the photosynthesis they produce oxygen. Okay, and they also consume little bit of the oxygen, but they produce more oxygen during the photosynthesis, which is utilized by the animals and the humans. Okay, and the carbon dioxide that we release, okay, that we exhale is utilized by the plant to perform the function of the photosynthesis. Okay, and the oxygen is also utilized by the plant for their respiration. Okay, so this is how the oxygen and the carbon dioxide is maintained in the air. So student, I hope you understood this chapter. Okay, the revision is complete of this chapter. If still you are having any doubt, you can write your queries in the comment box below. Now students, I am giving some questions. Okay, this is a quiz time, so I am giving you some questions related to the today's video. So whatever we have completed today, the topics related to that, I am giving you some questions. Please write the answers of all these questions in the comment box below, as well as in your fair notebook. Okay, so let's see the questions. So student, write the answers of all these questions. Okay, now in the next video I will come with some more knowledge of the science. So till then, keep learning, stay safe and stay happy.